Hey, I'm Siddharth, and I have with me Atul. We're the hosts of the podcast called I'm Blown, where we get blown by a fact and then we dig down and figure out what's leading to that potential fact. If you heard our episodes in the past, we spoke about non-vegetarians in the South. We spoke about shopping times. And today, after you told me this morning, I was blown by that fact. But I think I now get it. So what is that thing that blew you?
Before getting to that, Sid, you just reminded me of our earlier conversations, and I have to say I've really enjoyed going deeper into these rabbit holes and understanding how these things work. It's been a fascinating journey
Hasn't
for
it?
me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
it's
agree.
incredible. Some of the stuff that I remember you told me about the non-vegetarian thing the first time, and I was like, wait a minute, are you sure about that? And then you kind of go down and get curious.
Yeah.
Well, the one we're looking at today is that influencers and celebrities a little longer, but influencers are beginning to take center stage as far as purchase decisions are concerned, marketing is concerned. There's so much going on. And I read that the second biggest influencer after celebrities in India today are tutors.
That shocked me when you told me.
It was something that I had to do a double take to even start looking at it as a possibility. And the more I'm looking at it, the more it's kind of making sense. Whether it's true in terms of sheer quantum of purchase decision making and which categories and brands, etc., may well be debatable still. But the fundamental logic is something that I'm finding is very interesting. What did you find?
So, my consumption, I'm much older, my consumption of internet or for that matter, Instagram or a YouTube is more specific. Instagram being very browsable, so therefore whatever comes
Yeah.
my way and
Addictive.
so-called lifestyle and entertainment influences. And on YouTube is very search specific. Tell me more about this, or
Yeah.
how do I bake a cake?
Yeah.
I've not consumed any tuition or education related conversation. Therefore, I would have instinctively thought that that's not a big space. But when I thought a little bit more, I can understand why tutors have a great influence on the internet, or for that matter, tutors essentially create a lot of content and a lot of that content is consumed.
Yeah.
And I was happy to sort of see that. And it reminded me of a story that I went through about 15 years back.
Tell me.
I was heading the rural strategy function in the organization I was working on. So we did a lot of work in the rural markets. And one of the things that we saw at that point in time, well, it happened early 2000, is there was mushrooming of a lot of private schools in rural markets. And parallelly, there was this public school system that was
government
also
school
ensuring enrollment. And one of the ways they were ensuring enrollment was
midday meal
the midday meal.
Absolutely.
So instinctively, I thought that yes, the enrollment is going up in public schools, but these private schools are mushrooming up. And needless to say, they're private. So if they're private, they're more expensive.
Yeah.
So when we did a lot of research with consumers, and these were either slightly below the poverty line or little above the poverty line,
Right.
or at least they were very subsistence and sustained living sort of space, didn't have a lot of money for discretion.
Yeah.
They were sure that they're going to send their children, if not already, to private schools. And one of the reasons why they did that, and there was this true emotional insight, is, when we spoke to mothers, it was fascinating. All the mothers said, listen, I do not want my children to live a constrained life like I have, right? They believe that, private schools will open up a lot more avenue.
Yeah.
It's a tool to progress.
Yeah.
And I therefore need to adopt that. And I sense that the internet and the tutors on the internet is similar to that way. So listen, I'm sending my child to school, but there is this new shiny toy and the new shiny space, and I need to adopt that as well. And therefore, there could be the natural gravitation to the tutor on the internet being an addition to the repertoire to the education.
Yeah. And also there is that tendency to believe that you only get one shot at this. The education very clearly is a one-way door. You only get one shot at it, and as a result, this decision needs to be. And it's very interesting that, I was reading this article, and it said that for certain categories of consumers, for certain income groups, education is actually their biggest luxury expense.
Oh.
Because for them, that's the life changer. It's something that people in kind of people we would take it for granted.
Yeah.
That education is something that of course you're going to spend on.
Yeah.
But for them, for a certain category, it's a huge luxury spend, and as a result, that it becomes more and more important to spend well on it, invest in it, and like you said, it's the one that will create generational change, right? For the next generation, it's the only way to get away from where they have always been. And tutors, tutors clearly don't just teach. Over a period of time, tutors have started commanding social authority. And I think that position of social authority combined with repetitiveness, because a tutor comes into your life for an extended period of time.
Correct.
It's not just one engagement, one time or a two-time engagement, it's for over a period of time. So the repetitiveness has a tremendous impact. And of course, the proximity. Whether you like it or not, a celebrity or an influencer will always be far more than even arm's length for you as a consumer of information, right? So as a result, there is a tendency to not see that as a proximate individual as compared to a tutor. So combination of being a social authority and the repetitiveness, along with the fact that that person is very proximate in nature, that person's influence is very, very strong.
So actually the 3 points that you mentioned, let's try and break those independently, right? So I think one is this social authority. Yes, celebrities are driven by fame.
Right.
So there is an actor, we like the movie, and that fame is created, and that person seems to be in a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
Whereas tutors are driven by authority. We know that this person is an expert in the domain.
Yeah.
And I think the internet has given access to these experts.
I think the other thing that I intuitively felt was that, see, and we were talking about it earlier as well, said that when you're getting influenced by celebrities and influencers, that's very clearly an endorsement. We all know that they're doing it because they're paid by the brand. Very often, the way the tutor comes in is that it's more of guidance. It's more of a recommendation. It's more of I think this will be good for your child. You've in any case put that person, when I say you, I mean the parent, has already put the tutor in a position that obviously you're going to do something good for my child. That's why you're his or her tutor. And now that person is now saying that for your child you should be doing this, whether it is buying a particular laptop, buying a particular notebook, whatever it is that you're recommending, a tutor's recommending. I'm pretty sure that tutors' recommendations and suggestions are going to be limited.
Here's another thought. I think the medium of the internet and the ability to catch many parts of your senses and make the format more engaging has played a role in the amount of time people have spent in watching tutors. So we know that, at least this is what I've seen, is when you have a influencer, lifestyle, entertainment, you're not as committed, you're in and out.
Right.
Maybe part of my feed, and
Absolutely.
some I might consume, some I might not consume. In fact, on Instagram, I know
it's more of a fling than a relationship.
Yeah, it's more of a fling. Yeah. So great, it's more of a fling than a relationship. Yeah. In fact, it's also a lot of influencers who put content out for 30 to 40 seconds, just 30, 40 seconds. What is actually consumed is only 7-8 seconds because you're really browsing. Whereas the tutor, while they may have lesser subscribers than those really big influencers, the amount of dwell time, people are consuming it. It's a relationship. Like you said, it's not a fling. I'm committed to it. And therefore, there's a lot more dwell time that's happening there. And in that dwell time, I think what's helping people consume more of that content is the format.
Yeah.
I think tutors are making it more engaging. They're making it different from the classroom chalkboard. Of course, now they have smart TVs, but the classroom format in that sense. So yeah, I think there's a lot at play here as well.
Also, I think taking that thread a little bit forward, from a parent's perspective, because very often it's the parent who's going to be actually making the final decision, because that's the wallet the money is coming out of. I think the parent looks at it from a point of view that, celebrities and influencers are likely to recommend something that is in lifestyle, in orientation, or aspirational, or something like that. Whereas what the tutors are recommending is likely to have a long-term positive impact on me, my family, and us as a group. Now, that kind of position is actually enviable, from a purchase decision point of view. Now, whether there are brands taking advantage of this situation or trying to drive this as a marketing driver, I don't know. But it would be interesting to see if that was an option.
Oh, clearly. I mean, the authority is far superior. I mean, if the teacher told me to buy this, I would buy it.
The teacher thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah. If the school says do it, you might be disgruntled.
We've all been in those situations.
You will still do it, right? And I think that's the same with tutors online as well. Interesting. Let's dig a little bit more into the tutor space and this entire repetitiveness conversation. I think education is repetitive. So by nature, the tutor will be repetitive. You'll have to keep coming back. There's a rhythm that you have. Like I know today is Thursday and there's a Hindi teacher coming home to teach Rian Hindi. And I know on Saturdays he has a maths class. So there's a repetitiveness, there's a rhythm that flows in. I think that which leads to, you're committed, you're invested, and therefore there's more dwell time, be it forced by the parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just
both ways.
Or it's engaging enough that you're going back. I do generally think though that the current generation today, and I teach MBA students, when we learnt in school, we were like, just go there and just tell me what you want to tell me. I may or may not consume it. I'm thinking about my exam. I'm not really worried about, I have no goals in my mind. So our consumption was like, they were just throwing stuff at us. And we were like just a sponge, just taking all this information in. Some of us were attentive, some of us are not. But at the end of the day, we did some.
Many were not.
Many were not. I definitely wasn't. I mean, for the first 15 minutes I was, but after that I lost it. And in some classes I was completely zoned out. But we were sponges. Today when I teach these kids, they're not sponge. They have an idea in mind. There's a startup that they have, or there is a goal that they have. So when they're processing information, it's very exploitative, it's very goal-oriented. So while I'm teaching them something fundamental, it's incredibly goal-oriented. So I think the people who are consuming this tutor, this conversation or this format of tutors online are very goal-oriented. That's number one. The second thing I also think is that there are learning cycles. And the learning cycles that we followed was, first the person used to give us all the information and sometime 10 years later we'll go practice it.
Yeah.
Today the person wants to play. Like I want to practice it right now.
That's a very interesting and very crucial difference.
I want to play and then learn. Right? They're ready to play. So I think the tuition
ultimate practical, isn't it?
I think tuition classes are just an extension of the school, which is still using some old formats. The internet space, the tutor space, is probably using the new formats. It's probably exciting you a little bit more. It's probably enticing you a little bit more to play and giving you very specific information. So you're searching for specific information that solves your goal. A kid came up to me the other day and said, listen, you know what? There's a lot that you teach, but we only have an hour and a half of you. Like tomorrow, if I have a question that I want to ask, I have that hour and a half that I have that question. Can I make an AI avatar of you so that I can ask the AI avatar? And I'm like, sure. And I couldn't picture myself as an AI avatar. And I would always question what my AI avatar is saying. I'm second guessing that.
That's pretty cool.
That's a separate. So I said, how are you going to do it? He said, what we will do is we will record all your classes, right? We will record all the questions asked in the classes. And over a period of time, we build that avatar train to talk like you. So that scared the shit out of me, number one.
It's a fascinating thought.
I probably will do it.
I think it's doing.
Okay, one last one. And
sure.
Let's go back to the tutor space, right? I don't have much information, but I'm assuming a large part of the tutor space is sort of this K-12 to standardized testing,
it
exams.
should be. It should be.
The
In fact, not
IITs.
even, probably senior school, middle school, senior school, and beyond. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff there. An interesting space that I see happening online, and I've worked with a few companies, but I've not done any content, is this entire career counseling space, which is connecting what you learn to what you can do.
Yeah.
A very fascinating space where kids have now, it's not about education, but it's about vocation and connecting education to vocation. So what do you want to do? Do you want to be in design? Do you want to be in marketing? Do you want to be in finance?
And influence will be even stronger
Influence will be even stronger there.
because that person is coming from an even stronger position of authority.
Correct.
Because you believe that person can branch your child off into their career option.
But you know what? I thought we will not spend more than 5 minutes on this topic. But clearly we found some threads. We've gone on tangents. But it'll be good to sort of quickly summarize that. Right? So one of the things that we learned, and I wrote some of them down, is there is this desire for upward progress. And education is a tool for upward progress in India.
Absolutely.
Be it in a town in rich South Bombay to a rural market, which is less
Everywhere.
than everywhere. And people are saying the standard set of education institutions is not good enough. I need to find new avenues. We're seeing it in rural markets where people are moving from public school to private school. We're seeing it in many other markets where people are saying...
And you get one shot at it.
And therefore the online tutors are an avenue that causes that. That is, that, as you said, I love the word. It is a luxury expense that is going to drive generational change.
Absolutely.
Very, very clear in India. So that's point number one.
Sure.
The second thing, which also I think you said, is this concept of social authority. That unlike the entertainment space where a lot of them have mass set of followers, the education space have found a mass set of followers because you're seeking that authority and you're repeating that content driven by authority. So a fling with the entertainer, but a relationship with the tutor. And therefore we're seeing more dwell time in that sense.
I think the proximate touching distance makes a lot of difference because the tutor is able to have that credibility because of that. While celebrities and influencers create aspiration, create a sense of, if I want to be like him or her, then I can do this. But there is a very strong proximity with the tutor because they're largely in the same social milieu and circle that you and your family are in.
Point. The other thing, and this is the last thing we said, that when we were students, we were like a sponge. Tell us everything, we'll take it.
Exactly.
I think the students of today are more goal oriented, saying that, what, I want to get into a marketing job, or I want to do this startup. And in goal orientation, they're searching for the right expert. And the internet allows you to search for that. So interesting, wonderful.
Great conversation, Sid.
I'm very surprised. I did not think
that this was going to be long enough.
It has brought some trauma back about my
teachers and
class,
tuitions.
And the fact that I continue to teach and I teach some crazy kids.
Hopefully not causing trauma there.
Not yet.
Hopefully.
Not yet.
No, to them I meant, not to you.
maybe to them, but not yet to me. So very interesting conversation.
Let's ask our listeners to give us some ideas for conversations as well if they come up with stuff. And we look forward to having you with us in the next episode.
Till then, see you guys soon.